crashing into me. Drown me in your lies, and there's no way to breathe. And my walls will keep you down. I am safe without the sound of you around. It's getting colder, and I'm the storm that's taking over.
Yo, JD here, to Limitless, and we're at round 2 of AOR, and as you can see from the last round, it was a pretty good start to the season with the win. This track's it's a really good track of mine. Normally I have really good strong pace, particularly today I've just been struggling quite a bit in this qualifying session. Even though I've done the 35.9, I've been doing 35.6s, 35.7s on quite regularly, and so not really that happy with my time at the moment. Obviously I'm on pole at the moment, which is great. I'm just praying that no one beats that time, because I feel the likes of Broziak, Leobot, Tigger, Rosberg, they can easily, I think, beat that time. But this is the start of my last lap. Hopefully trying to absolutely nail it. So far so good. It looks like I absolutely just nailed those first few corners, and we've done a 24.4 first sector, which is a pretty crazy first sector. It's almost a 10th up, well, just over half a 10th up on my time so far. Looking so good, completely flat out for his left. Through the right, pretty nice. Carry a bit too much speed, go back on the track straight away. Try and nail these next two right hands, which I managed to just clip the curb a little bit too much on the right there. Bit of a curb on the exit as well, so a bit of a scruffy double right there. First double left, as you'll be seeing as a disclaimer, for that corner in the race, I'll be doing the Mario Kart, because if you don't do it, you're just going to lose so much time. And normally I just hate doing that kind of technique, but for that corner you just got to do it if you want to be fast. So apologies for that, but for the rest of the lap I don't do any of that shit, so no worries there. Just got to nail these last two corners, just a little bit too far from the apex for my liking on that second to last corner. And all we can do now is just focus on this final turn just after the green sign. As I said in my setup video, going in second gear, do a late apex, quite nice exit come up here, getting Duro so as you can, and let's see what that time is going to be. It's going to be a 35.9. No, it's going to be a 35.9. So to improve my time slightly, bit disappointed because I was up in that first sector by quite a bit, but nonetheless still pretty happy to be on provisional pole at this point. And as you can see there, Broziak beat my time, so credit to him, he did a pretty good lap, 35.8, pretty quick. So starting second on the grid, as long as I start in the top 3, that's normally what my aim is for quality this season. I'm pretty happy with that. So start of the race, right now, as always, I always have a little bit of a plan before the race. I know roughly when to pit, about lap 8 and 9 I want to pit, but considering I'm starting in second place, I thought I had quite a good pace beforehand to try and get the pole, but right now I'm thinking to myself, you just got to be as aggressive as possible. You literally just got to pressure him as much as possible and try and get to the lead as much as possible, because I don't want to be behind with this dirty air around here. It's absolutely numbing. As you can see, we made a great start. We're actually alongside him and going into turn 1. And we've gone down the inside of him, gone second gear inside, just holding him off on the outside, and we've managed to secure it. We've actually got into first place, so perfect start, just getting the slipstream, just keep the aggression. Basically, you just got to make a decision, just stick with it, and I decided as the lights went out that I'm just going to go for that move down the inside, and luckily it's paid off. So right now I'm actually in a position that I'm not really actually in that much. I know I've won races, but normally it's been from chasing and catching from behind, but right now I'm actually leading a race, as you can maybe basically doing a noble, actually leading a race from the start. So this is actually quite new territory for me, and as you can see, I'm just trying to get into the rhythm of the race. It'll take me another couple of laps or so to get up to speed properly, but right now I'm pretty nervous because I'm not really had that much experience of actually leading races, so just gotta try and just nail those apexes and just think about corner to corner rather than just thinking about the guy behind, because Brozak, Rosberg, they're pretty quick, they're pretty rapid, so can't take anyone lightly. You gotta just focus on yourself and just keep pushing really. And right now I'm pushing very hard. I'm going in rich on the straights to try and break Brozak, and as you can see, we've managed to build just a little gap to him at the moment, so that pushing on the first lap has helped quite a bit, and it looks like he's trying to get up to speed as well, and we've managed to just get into a rhythm a little bit quicker. And what is the gap? It's 1 second, so if we can keep this till over lap 3 out the DRS zone, that's my aim at the moment, just to try and keep out that DRS zone, because as you know, there's 2 DRS zones on the back straight and then on the pit straight, so they're quite powerful. So if we can just keep them out of that, then that would be great. But right now I'm feeling pretty confident, because dirty air around here, if you're behind someone, particularly going through the left right as we're just about to go through now, it's an absolute nightmare, it's absolute hell, and it's actually pretty hard to follow people around here. As much as how open the track is and you think it's quite a good opportunity to overtake, it's actually quite hard to overtake people. I think that last corner is pretty difficult when you're behind something to get on the traction, and right now we're driving pretty well, nailing those apexes pretty nicely, and just saving the rich fuel mixtures for the straight. You don't need to go and rich through here, and now I'm just trying to just focus on each apex corner by corner and just keep it consistent. As you can see, we've gained another couple of attempts in him, so far this lap is going pretty good. So far so good, and I'm starting to feel just a lot more confident in myself, finally getting into the rhythm of the race. And yeah, as I said, just right now all I want to do is just keep him out of the DRS zone for as long as possible, or even just keep on extending the gap, because right now if I can just keep this up, then that'll be pretty good. And going into the final corner now, nailing that apex quite nicely. Presume we'll go and rich again. No, we don't. And we'll see what the lap time is. Lap 2, we've done a 37.4, which is my PB as the start of the race, as I did in practice, and it's 1.6 seconds. So this is pretty good. This is looking pretty good. And all we got to do now is just keep it consistent. If we can just keep it consistent and hopefully keep eking out this gap, then it's looking pretty good for us. So moving on to lap 3. Just keeping it consistent again, lost a tiny bit of time, and the gap has gone down to 1.3, so as you brought it back a bit again. And for these next series of laps, we're just going to keep updating on the gap, because it's pretty similar. It's 1.2, so feeling pretty nervous when he's coding a bit, but then just trying to up the lap again, the lap up again, and it's 1.3. So as you can see, there's not really much to choose between us. I didn't really feel that I should need to show the footage, because the laps are just pretty much exactly the same. It's 1.3 again, surprise, surprise. Coming on to lap 7 now, the tyres are starting to get a little bit worn, as you can see me looking at the tyres there, and just extending the gap by just over a tenth. And this is lap 8, and my tyres right now are just feeling really worn. There's not really that much traction. I was going to go for an extra lap, because I was hoping he'd pit this lap, but I thought my tyres would just be too dead, and as he's quite close, he'd probably actually get ahead of me, so I didn't want to take the risk, and I was just hoping he'd follow me into the pits, and that's exactly what he's done. So everything's going perfect so far, just keeping up a nice gap, pitting on the same lap as him as well. And we're going on the options for the next stint. I think the primes in this game, you really don't want to go on the prime for your second stint, as the constant just lags out, which is unfortunate. But yeah, you don't want to go on the primes for the second stint, because they're so slow. You just got to lose so much time as well. And if someone goes on options, they're going to be like a second and a half quicker than you. So if you're on equal pace, that is. But yep, coming out, In 4th place, Jambo and Montoya, I believe, are ahead, and they're the prime runners continuing their run. And right now, this is quite important, quite a crucial moment in the race actually. We're coming up to the prime runners, and if they don't pit this lap, then that means we're going to have to actually overtake them next lap on track. And as you can see by the gap to Brozak, we'll see it as we go across the line, but I presume it's still about 1.5 seconds, 1.4 seconds, something like that. So the gap stayed the same. We're getting our tyres up to temperature, and you can see his options are absolutely rapid. We caught the prime runners in front of us quite quickly. But they are on 10 lap old primes. But we've got Jambo in front right now. I was just thinking to myself, you just gotta just pick your spot and don't do anything stupid, because if you get a side pod glitch, or you could just do something stupid, but just take your time. You've still got 18 laps to go. You don't need to do a ridiculous or like a Maldonado or Grosjean kind of move, as Brozak is 1.6 seconds behind. So because we've got some time to kill, we can stay behind for a couple of corners. And you can see there is the dirty air, and just having someone in front of me distraction. It's really, really hard to follow someone through there, and it can really put you off quite badly. As you can see, we've just got so much more grip than Jambo in front with those option tyres we got. Is absolutely crazy under braking and just traction. And as you can see here, we actually are we gonna go for a move? I think we are go on the inside, side by side with him. Pretty difficult to overtake someone in there, because no real turning reference point, and takes a bit of curb on the inside, and we managed to get past them. So that's good for us, and right now we just need to maximise it, as Brozak hopefully it takes a while for him to get past, and no, he doesn't. As you can see in the mirror, he's actually got past him. Look behind, and right now he's got DRS on us. So really, I could have probably maybe waited another corner, but I felt I had to do it, just take that risk to try and build a bigger gap between me and Brozak. And luckily WRL Montoya has gone in the pits, so don't have to worry about overtaking him in that snap. But Brozak's actually got DRS in us. So right now we're looking in the mirror. I'm just looking in that right mirror there, and you can see he's actually gone for a move down the inside, and we're just holding it around the outside. As I said in my previous video, never give up a position, always try and make it as difficult as possible. And there we go. We could have just maybe slotted in behind him, but I didn't. I just didn't want to stay behind him around this track because of the dirty air, and it would just burn up my tyres. And I just decided this race I'm just going to be mega aggressive and claim the spot I want to go in. So managed to just keep ahead of him there, and you'll see probably in his next couple of laps behind. Let's see if he loses a bit of time for his left right. We've managed to just nail that quite nicely through there. Just keep it consistent, and you can see he's just dropped up back a tiny bit through there. And right now I'm feeling pretty nervous, pretty under pressure. It's pretty intense pressure because we seem to be pretty much identical on pace. So I don't think it's going to be very easy to break that DRS from him now. And right now I'm just thinking to myself, just push like hell and just nail those apexes and get on the throttle as early as you can for each corner, because it's just so important. And hopefully if he gets in my dirty air or makes a slight mistake, then I can just exploit that by doing that. So right now I'm just literally just focusing again by corner, just pushing absolutely as hard as I can, and he's still within my DRS. There's no point going in rich at this point because he's in my DRS. It's only just go exaggerate his slipstream even more. So just saving some fuel because I'm prepared for a battle at the end of the race, and right now I'm thinking towards the end of the race, try and save the fuel to launch an attack at the end of the race, or if we can break his DRS, then try and use all the fuel possible with that. So going back down standard through twisty sections of the track as usual, and he's right behind, as you can see by the arrow, and there's nothing really you can do in this situation right now. It's just a test of basically what you do in practice. You practice to be consistent lap after lap, and this is where the practice really does come into play and really does show between some drivers, I feel. So you just got to cope with this pressure, as Noble used to do pretty well, people like that. So I'm trying to emulate him in his boots, but it's a pretty big struggle at the moment. I'm not used to this position, leading, holding the car behind. Normally I'm the guy behind, hassling the leader, so that feels a lot more natural to me, and this just feels completely alien to me at the moment. But as you can see, Brozak, I think in the dirty air, or he's made a slight mistake there, he's actually broken off us a bit. So this is a perfect opportunity for us to get on the DRS. Well, DRS, I mean extend the gap, and as you can see we've just gone purple, so pushing pretty hard in a slap, and as you can see it's 0.9 of a second. So just inside DRS. If he can just nail these corners, I was just thinking to myself here, if I can just absolutely just nail these last 2 corners, then I can break his DRS, so get into Rich straight away. And it looks like we just nailed it and got a really good exit. As you can see by the mini-map, we're just extending that gap. So now, primary focus is just nailing this braking zone and turning point, this last corner. Getting the apex, getting the throttle as soon as you can, going to Rich again. And let's see what the gap is going across the line. It should be a new fastest lap. Yes, it is. And the gap is 1.3 seconds. So we absolutely smashed that last sector. We smashed it by 4 tenths. So that was pretty good. But skipping ahead to lap 17, I can tell you now, the rest of our laps were really consistent. We're just extending the gap lap by a tenth or so each lap. So we got up to 1.9 seconds at the moment. And at this point, my tyres are going off pretty badly, but I really don't want to go on the primes that soon. I don't want to pit now for prime and him go for an extra lap. Because like with Melbourne, as you saw from there, since the primes are so slow and they're so slow getting up to temperature, even though the options are really worn, it doesn't really make sense to pit now. And let's see what Broziak does. Broziak goes into pit, so this is quite a crucial moment again. He's 1.9 seconds behind, so not exactly a million miles behind. As you can see, my tyres are getting quite warm. And you'll see from this lap, I'll be going in lean pretty much for most of this lap. So at this point in the race, I didn't know whether I made a good decision or not, but I've made it and I've just got to stick with it. And right now, you just got to push the absolute hell to your pit box. So you just got to make the most of everything you can do. You can't change back time now. You can't go back to the pits now. So you just got to just do the best you can of what you got. And as you can see, the tyres are just, you'll see through these next few corners, particularly the high speed corners, I'm just losing the rear on the rear end. As you can see there, I'm just adjusting my steering and just the oversteer is really starting to kick in. But keeping it in lean is another tip I'll say. If you feel the tyres are going off, as you can see there, just the oversteer. If you feel the tyres are going off, then just keep it in lean, because it will just make it so much easier for the car to control. And coming off this corner, traction is it's okay off there so far. We're not actually that much down our time, and as you can see, we almost lose the car there actually. So it's not, we're level with our last lap. So keeping it lean is actually a really good way to just help with traction, and it definitely is something I'd recommend when your tyres go off. So we're definitely going to pit this lap because Broziak pitted last lap, and I don't think I could do another lap on this without losing a lot of time. So coming into the pit box, just got to make sure we keep it within the limits of the track. So keep it within the pit lane. Actually done quite nicely, but try not to lose time. And then, wow, we actually almost lose the car there. So if I went into the wall there, then I would have just blown up. But going on to the prime tyres, obviously, because that's the compound we haven't been on yet. Lap 19 of the race with 9 laps to go. And yeah, I'm feeling confident, but I'm just praying that Broziak hasn't got a big undercut on me or something, because the last thing I want is to try and overtake him to end the race, because this was so equal. But the good thing it's in my favour is that I've got the fresher tyres again, and they always seem to work for me, and that's something I always try and do. I just love having fresher tyres. I normally like coming from behind, but as you can see, we've actually got out ahead of Broziak, so it looks like it has closed the gap, but we've managed to just push. We did a really good in lap there, and we managed to just keep it ahead in first place. And it doesn't look like he's in DRS, so we'll look at this first sector split, and he is 0.9 behind. So we just got to push again, and the tyres take a little while to get up to temperature, but we just got to force the temperature into them now. And let's see if we can nail these corners out. Just a little bit of adjusting of the steering again. And it just takes me a while to get to racing again. We're just adjusting the steering and just carrying a bit too much speed. And yeah, this is pretty sloppy driving at the moment. Just feeling the pressure, really, to be honest. At this point, I was just so desperate to keep him out of the DRS. I was just overdriving a bit, but we've actually somehow extended the gap. So pretty good stuff. And all we can do now is just keep it consistent. Just consistency is going to be the key, and if we can just keep it consistent, then his tyres should fall away at the end of the race, whilst our tyres are a lap fresher, and that should really help us quite a bit. So right now, I'm feeling I'm in a really good position. Again, it's a similar situation to how it was at Melbourne, in a leader race with fresher tyres. It's mine to lose now, and just I'm just struggling to get into the rhythm of this stint a little bit, but the prime tyres just feel so different to what they do in the options. It's crazy how much of a difference it is. But skipping ahead now, 1 lap 25 of the race, and I can tell you now my laps are really consistent, and we were just edging out a gap, and I think with just that, what is it? Yeah, the tyre difference of the lap pressure tyres are really starting to come into play. Just having that little bit of extra traction for each corner, a little bit more corner and grip for every corner, it just all adds up. And at this point I'm driving really well. I've just gotten in the rhythm of the race, and I'll just be showing you from now to the end of the race now to see my driving and how consistent I'm being. And yeah, overall this race has gone really well for me. It's just I haven't really made that many mistakes. It took me a while to get into the rhythm within some stints, but the only thing I was annoyed about this race is just my qualifying. Even though I qualified second, which was great, but I felt I could have got a little bit more time of what I did, and that was a little bit scruffy to my liking. But nonetheless, we're just making the most of it. I had the game plan before the race of just being mega aggressive in that first corner. I already decided that I was going to go for a move no matter what when the lights went out. But obviously being as fair and clean as possible. But yeah, I just wanted to be aggressive as possible, trying to scare him out of the way pretty much, and luckily it seemed to work. It seemed to shock them a bit when I just committed myself down the inside, and that's what you got to do really. Once you commit yourself, don't do a half measures kind of move. You just really just got to commit yourself, because if you just need that confidence, just do that. And it just seems to work really, because I knew in practice before he really didn't want to be behind someone in the race, and that's why I was quite annoyed in quali. But luckily things turned out. I don't think I had the most amazing race pace in this race. Like towards the end of the stints I really got into my rhythm, and that's when I like eked out the gap. But like between then I was consistent, but I was just making a few small mistakes, like clipping the grass between going into corners. But nonetheless, sometimes it's not really always about the raw speed, as you can see with a lot of drivers in other leagues and other like racing games as well. It's not about the raw speed, it's mainly about the consistency, and that's what I've seemed to done here, and I managed to do the same in Melbourne. So this season has really gone perfect for me so far, but I'm talking like I'm jumping to conclusions, because this race isn't over. You can't take anything for granted, you can't lose any concentration, and right now I'm just trying to nail my apexes, not trying to burn out the tyres too much, and just take it home to the flag. And right now we're doing a pretty good job. We're at level with our time last lap, so that just shows the consistency. And the gap is 3.8 seconds, so we've got it up to 3.8, which is pretty good. I'm pretty happy about it, considering the calibre of what Brozak is as a driver, really good driver. I think Rosberg and the wheel users that try and Tigger and Rosberg, they had a few difficulties with the wheel. I think Tigger had a glitch with his Fanatec wheel, so that's really unfortunate to him, because he's an amazing driver. He's someone I used to watch before I went into league racing. I know what he can do, and hopefully I really hope those guys get better luck in next racing, because I just love racing and battling people. Because as I said, this is a really quite unusual position for me. Normally I'm always coming from behind to actually like win a race to get a good result, but from actually leading it from the start, other than when the prime rounds were in front, was really weird. And I'm glad I had that experience, because it should help me in the future if I'm in this position again. But it was quite nice. But I actually quite like battling my way through, as I did with Malaysia here last season. I think I pitted a lot later than everyone else, and the fresher tyres, and then managed to come through and win it with 2 laps to go against Ricky C and Matty G, which was a really good race. But this race I can't really complain too much from leading from the front, as Noble used to do. It's a pretty nice feeling. It just gives you that extra confidence really, and I'm glad I've got this experience from this now. So starting the last lap, or on the last lap, just keeping it on the road, just not to put it in the gravel, get an auto-spin curb, lose a wing, which is pretty difficult to lose a wing around here, but I wouldn't rule it out. And yeah, just keeping it together to line now. And the catering my car here today, it just felt amazing. It just felt so good when I wanted it to. Still got standard fuel mixtures, so the fuel just doesn't really seem to go down that much around here. I kept it going rich on the straights, but I think it saves it in standard. So Fuel mixture's pretty good around here. The tyres drop off is not that extreme, so which is pretty nice as well. And we come around the final corner to win round 2 of AOR Malaysia. So really happy with that result. It was one of my stronger tracks, a lot stronger than Malaysia. So I was hoping for a good result there, and luckily it's turned out that way as well. So yeah, next track will be Bahrain, which is not really a raw pace kind of track, good track for me, but hopefully if I could just keep consistent again, then hopefully we can just get another good result. So hopefully you enjoyed my commentary here today. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Cheers.